How you doing? So in this video, I've taken this sort of fairly humongous data set, let's say 21,000 rows, all right? Basically, what I want to do is kind of basically put this data into buckets. So basically, I want to kind of say, okay, I've got sales, but where was the sales? What was the value of the sales? For example, where it was between 0 and 1,000, 1,000 and 2,000, and so on. So I'm going to do that with a pivot table. So I'm going to go to table design, summarize a pivot table, click OK. All right. So what I do over here is I drag total excluding tax into my values, and then I also drag total excluding tax into my rows. All right. And what I want to do is basically use the grouping feature here to, basically use the grouping feature here just to put them together into buckets. So right click and use group. Okay. So I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to change it to 19,000 because it's just a bit tidier. And then I say group it in buckets of 1,000. Now the thing about this is that it is pretty standard, so it has to be kind of like regular size buckets. If it's a question where you don't have regular size buckets, what you probably need to do then is actually add an extra column to your data, with a Vlookup, and then kind of do that on it. So click that. So see there, and then I've got my little buckets here, and if I do a right click, value field settings, number format, choose my currency, click OK, click OK. Okay. And what I could do then maybe is just throw a little bit of conditional formatting on it. Use my data bars here, click beside it. Okay. So you can see then it's like the ones that are kind of, it's actually the ones where the values are between 1,000 and 2,000. That's the area of the greatest sales. And if I wanted to again, I could also add maybe the total excluding tax again. Okay. And if I want to then maybe just go to show values as and say percentage of grand total. Right. So you can see then you kind of start to get a picture then of like kind of where your data is at. So I might just change that to sum. Actually, I might just undo that for a second because it's kind of coming up with count instead of sum. Okay, so I'll just change that to summarize values by sum, and then I change the setting to show values as percentage of grand total. Right. So see that kind of looks kind of a little bit different actually. So just watch that thing. I think that happened. I'm not sure why that happened, but it's always just useful, just as I like to say, to have a little learning moment on it. Okay. So you can see there, basically, let's say over 50% is coming into the sales between 0 and 1,000 and that value there. Okay. Now, so that's just on that bit there. Now I'm going to go on and I'm going to show you what you do if, for example, you have non-standard ones here. So let me just start on another video. I'll have all these files for you in the blog post anyway. Okay, now in this one we've got a scenario where, for example, let's say we've got our age groupings 0 to 5, 6 to 10, and then we have 11 to 17, 18 to 64, and then we have 65 plus. So there's no kind of standard inbuilt pattern to that. So what you need to do in that case is actually do a VLOOKUP with this first of all. So if I go over to formulas, common reference, and to VLOOKUP, identify the common element, which is the age. Highlight my table array, my 2 columns over here, and then I'm going to put in column index number 2, which is my grouping, and then this one 0, and then click OK. You see that kind of gives me my formula here on this one. Now, if you look at this one here, what we could do then is we could actually just run a pivot from this. Okay, so if I want to see basically how many people I have in each of these age groupings, table design, summarize a pivot table. And this time I'm just going to put on an existing worksheet, say maybe down here, and then I click OK. And then what I do then is I'm going to go over here, I'm going to go to enter formula, and I basically just enter it in twice. Okay, and you see there it just gives me my age groupings there as well. And if I want to kind of see which is the largest one, just go sort largest to smallest. Okay. So that's just another way if you need to do your grouping on it, that if you have a standard one, you can use the inbuilt pivot table features, but if it's kind of more varied, maybe like this one, you probably will have to put in an extra column for your data. Okay, hope you find this useful. Mind yourself, take care, bye.